הכל בסדר, לוקחים אותך הביתה. לוקחים אותך הביתה.
את בטוחה, אנחנו לוקחים אותך לאוטו. שלנו. שלנו. אנחנו חברים מהימ"מ ומהשב"כ, לוקחים אותך הביתה. אנחנו מאוד מתרגשים שאת פה ואנחנו גאים לך.
אני מאוד מתרגשת, אני פשוט מאוד מפחדת מהדרך.
הכל בסדר. הכל בסדר.
Everything is fine. We're taking you home. Those were the words of one of the operators that rescued Noah Argami during that dangerous daylight operation in Gaza's Nusrat refugee camp. Imagine the weight of those words. A promise of freedom in the heart of enemy territory. A moment of hope that nearly cost these heroes their lives. And today I'm taking you inside the incredible rescue operation that brought Noah Argami and 3 other hostages home, revealing one of the most incredible rescues in modern warfare, and inside one of the most incredible hostage rescue units on the planet. And I'm here to take you inside Operation Arnon. Before we dive in, I want to thank our sponsor for this episode, the Cherry's Deep Concealment Holster. Same holster I trained Keanu Reeves on for the John Wick franchise. It's below the waistband. It's never going to fall off you. And lightning fast draw with just a little bit of training. Go to Cherry's counter-terror.com. There's a bit of a lead time, but trust us, they're worth it. Get yourself a below the waistband holster and no more digging into your gut. Let's get into it. This story began on October 7, 2023, when Hamas launched a surprise, unprecedented attack on Israel. In a single day, over 1,200 Israelis were killed, including civilians and various security personnel. And this brutal assault saw over 250 people taken hostage and dragged into Gaza. And among those abducted were 4 Israeli citizens, Noah Argami, Almog Mer, Andrei Kozlov, and Shlomi Ziv. Each of them was attending the Nova Music Festival, a celebration of life and freedom. And when they were suddenly thrust in captivity, imagine the fear, the uncertainty, the hope that kept them going while they were hidden deep in those tunnels in Gaza and in the Nusrat refugee camp, a place that became both a fortress and a trap. Noah's family, heartbroken and desperate, worked tirelessly to keep this story alive in the media. And while the families of Almog, Andre, and Shlomi held on to hope, anxiously waiting for any sign of life, months passed. And finally, in June of 2024, Israel's elite counter-terrorist hostage rescue team, the Yamam, was called upon to bring them home. To truly understand the severity and complexity of this operation, you need to know who these operators are. The Yamam, officially known as the Yechida Meuchedet Mishtartit, translates to the Special Police Unit. And these are Israel's Tier 1 counterterrorism unit. Established in 1974, after the tragic Ma'alot school massacre, the Yamam became Israel's answer to complex hostage rescue, urban response for counterterrorism. Let me make this real clear. The Yamam is a Tier 1 unit on par with units like Delta Force and SEAL Team 6, making it one of the most specialized units in the world. The Yamam's training pipeline is widely regarded as one of the hardest selection and training processes in Israel, designed to push out candidates who are not fit and absolutely drive these officers to their limits. And becoming a part of the Yamam isn't just about skills. It requires a tremendous amount of physical endurance that very few make it through. Candidates need to be between the age of 22 and 30 and have completed mandatory service in the IDF in a combat unit and as an officer preferably. The selection process is demanding, pushing candidates to their limit to assess their physical and mental capabilities, especially for high-stress environments. It is an absolute monster. I know these guys. Once selected, the candidates undergo an approximately 7-month-long training program divided into a couple of phases. The first, basic counter-terrorism skills, hand-to-hand combat, urban warfare tactics, and mastery of every type of small arm. But this is only the beginning. The remaining 4 months focuses on advanced specializations, intense close quarters battle training and entry training, specifically for HR. Emphasizes Israel's cutting-edge instinctual rapid shooting and room-clearing techniques for extreme high stress. They also undergo rigorous conditioning to build that endurance needed for these types of operations and develop a ton of psychological resilience to be able to handle the intense mental pressure of this day-to-day counterterrorism work. During the final months, the candidates specialize in very specific roles, sniping, reconnaissance, explosives handling, and they also have an internal canine operations unit. This tailored approach makes sure that this team, this unit, has every essential capability needed for any type of hostage rescue scenario. Their training, however, is not just about combat. The mental transformation, I can tell you, is an absolute monster. These guys turn into warrior protectors, and they're trained to assess and handle not just the combat side, but the emotional state of the hostages to provide a very calm midst amongst the chaos when they're making those entries, and ensures that those who are selected can handle Israel's most dangerous and complex missions. This is not your typical American call out and surround 5-day of training SWAT team that gets together once a month. This is a tier 1 asset. Let me get into the mission here. The first phase of the operation involved months of painstaking intelligence work. Israel's Shin Bet led a human intelligence network building upon their network of Palestinian informants within Gaza. Unit 82, Israel's elite signal intelligence unit, also played a critical role in intercepting and analyzing enemy communications. Often compared to the NSA, Unit 8200 specializes in cyber operations, electronic surveillance, and counterintelligence. They were critical for this operation. And Unit 8200's advanced technology and data analysis capabilities have now allowed them to pinpoint the exact coordinates of the captors and the hostages, and their expertise in decrypting communications and tracking digital footprints provided the Yamam with very crucial real-time intel on those enemy locations, movements, defensive measures, phone calls that were being made, discussions. And then it was further complemented with the help of U.S. high-end satellite imagery for that Nusrat camp and that layout, ensuring that the Yamam's plan was surgical. And to add an extra layer to the actual operation in terms of the stealth, the Yamam operatives disguised as local refugee camp vendors, arriving in civilian vehicles loaded with mattresses, posing as displaced Gazans fleeing other areas. Others reportedly dressed as Hamas fighters to blend in seamlessly into their surroundings. And these disguises, which are very similar to what I did in the IDF, allowed the Yamam team to close in on the hostage locations without alerting any of the enemy's lookouts by way of deception. And with these intelligence insights and that undercover preparation, Yamam was ready to strike. So on June 8th, 2024, Yamam operatives launched a coordinated assault on 2 separate buildings in Nusrat, where the hostages were held. Chief Inspector Arnon Zmora led the team in assaulting the building where the hostages Almog, Andre, and Shlomi Ziv were being held. And the building was heavily guarded by Hamas terrorists, prepared to engage at any attempt at a rescue. And Zmora's team, faced with very intense resistance from around 30 armed terrorists who were entrenched and ready to fight, a 45-minute firefight erupted in one of the most intense engagements the team had faced in years. And for those 45 minutes, every second was life or death. And Zmora was critically wounded during the engagement. But his courage and his leadership allowed his team to press forward and reach the hostages. The operators deployed what's also known as behavioral-based CQB, which was developed in Israel. And that allows them to be able to clear 90% of those rooms from outside those thresholds, taking out each one of those militants before they could even raise their weapons. I want to take a look at some of the actual footage from the operation where you'll see the Yamam officers moving through one of the structures. Have a look.
כנס, כנס. אחד איתי. הנה פה. שם. אנדרי. שלוש שונים בידי. שלוש שונים. הכל בסדר, אני מחלץ אתכם תהיו רגועים. יש.
As the firefight continued, Chief Inspector Arnon Zmora led his team deeper into the building, clearing each room with meticulous precision, all while under relentless stress. And when they reached the hostages, they delivered the words they had rehearsed, knowing it would reassure and ground them. Everything is fine. We're taking you home. For the hostages who had spent months in the darkness, these words were an absolute lifeline. And despite being critically wounded during the final push, Arnon's dedication never wavered. This guy was a beast. He continued to lead his men, ensuring that the hostages were safe. His courage under fire allowed the Yamam to complete their mission and evacuate the hostages without losing another life. And with the hostages finally secured, the Yamam team moved quickly to get them to an extraction point where members of various elite units helped form that perimeter, ensuring that that team could exit without interference. And the hostages were airlifted to the Sheba Medical Center where they were reunited with their families. And for these families, this rescue, nothing short of a miracle and a testament to the Yamam's incredible capabilities and to the commitment it had to completing this operation. Before I close this one out, I want to take a minute to honor Chief Inspector Arnon Zmora, a man whose bravery is unmatched, whose dedication to his team and his country never wavered. And during this operation, Arnon made the ultimate sacrifice, allowing his team to complete that mission and bring these hostages home.
לוחמיו, הוא פעל באומץ לב. פעולתו במבצע הביאה אור ושמחה לעם ישראל, ולצערנו הוא שילם על כך בחייו. גאוותנו על הצלחת המבצע מעולה בעצב רב. במקום להיות חלק מהשמחה הלאומית, אנו מתכנסים בכאבנו העצום.
He was more than just a leader. And this guy was a husband, he was a father, and he was very beloved in the Yamam unit, from what I'm hearing. And his comrades describe him as a man who lived for the mission, who inspired them to be their best, even in the darkest moments. And his legacy is carried forward in each of those operators for every operation and mission they undertake. And in honor of his sacrifice, the mission was renamed Operation Arnon. And today, I'm dedicating this episode of the Aaron Cohen Show to his memory. Thank you for watching. This is the Aaron Cohen Show. I'll be back soon with some more analysis.